Hi, I'm Zoe Gellert. I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior in high school, and I was in Children's Specialized Hospital's chronic pain program for 3 weeks. I came by the hospital today to deliver a $7,000 donation to the chronic pain program and the Children's Specialized Hospital itself for any children and patients who feel that they need the same help that I received with my chronic pain syndrome, CRPS, and AMPS. I got hurt in 2016. A 40-pound block was kicked over onto my foot. It's not something that happens to every human every day. So for me, my entire life became working towards solving something. And that's when my family developed the cause for Zoe's Heroes, and the idea of the hero is to be your own hero, because as I learned from the 13 plus doctor's appointments I went to before I ever got a diagnosis of CRPS, is that you seriously have to be your own hero and be your own advocate. So I started a jewelry company during COVID in June in 2020, when I was bored out of my mind. And I started it because my therapist in her office, when I was still in person, had a bucket of beads, and they were really small. They were like 1 millimeter beads. So they're so small you can barely see what color they are, but they were really fun to play with, and they were really therapeutic for me. So when I went home and had to start doing sessions on FaceTime and on Zoom, I needed something to do with my hands. So I ordered beads. When they came all organized pretty in a little box, there was no way I was pouring them into a big bucket to play with. So I started to bead. And I started to drop them off at my friends' houses because I was learning to drive. And they liked them. So one of my friends convinced me to create an Instagram account, and my business completely blew up from there. And when I came to the hospital, I am someone who really likes normalcy. And so for me, that normalcy was bringing my beads with me. I brought what looks like a makeup case, because it is a makeup case, with me. But instead of makeup, it was filled with all of my beads, all my supplies. And I wrote a post and made a little form for my family and friends and followers to fill out to order bracelets. There was one that said strength, one that said courage, one that said fearless, one that had a bead that said be your own hero, and one that was orange evil eyes, because orange and white is the colors that represent CRPS. So I started to create these bracelets, and at first it was like I got like 5 orders, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. And then I woke up the next morning and it was like 23. I was like, okay. And it was like the next morning I was like, okay, there are now 49 people who have ordered bracelets. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because they keep me very busy here. I was in therapy 7+ hours a day. So every month I choose a charity to donate to. And usually it's just a portion of my proceeds, because it's still a business and I'm learning, and I get to manage money and figure out what like a good profit range is versus how much I'm giving back to a community. And it's always a community that I feel connected to. So with the month of August, when I was in the hospital, I needed a charity to donate to. And for me, that was a given to give it back to the hospital. If you ask my therapist, it was not the first 3 days I was here. Those were a little rough. But after that, I really got just as much as I was giving. I think the pain management team here is amazing. Kate and Jen and Kate and Kate. Everyone cares about you, and they care about your recovery, and they care about every single mini step you take in the right direction, and it clearly shows. And it's a really great group of people to spend time with, even though you may not want to be in a hospital. So for me, giving back to this hospital was something I felt like I needed to do. And while every other place I donated, we only donated a portion of the proceeds, we donated all of the money we made from the bracelet sales. So each person who donated got the items that they purchased, but all of the money that they spent went back to the hospital. I was raised with the idea that you have everything you could ever need or want, but no one else is that lucky. So my parents have always taught me to give back, and whether that was like sorting Halloween candy to send to soldiers, or Valentine's for veterans, or buying toys at Target for toy drives, I always liked picking those out. We've always done an abundance of community service, and it's always been really important to my family. So to continue that with something that is so personally close to me has made the transition to my young adulthood and what I want to do with my life and where I want to go to school. All those choices have a basis and foundation of charity work and giving back. So I hope my business continues to grow. My plan is to continue in college, and I hope that I always continue to give back to charities because that's the most important thing to me.